Have you ever wondered where a dog can go to protect those he loves? Have you ever imagined to be an act of courage is so intense that it pushes the boundaries of loyalty and unconditional love? These questions may seem dramatic, but I'm going to share with you is just that. A demonstration of sheer courage, sacrifice, and love. In a matter of a few seconds in the life of a common man, became the face of an act heroic, which has touched the hearts of the community as a whole. Stay with me until the very end, because that's all you're going to find out now. You will be surprised, touched, and until you change your way of looking at the relationship between humans and their faithful four-legged friends. It is an avenue in the bustling, filled with cars moving at high speed, a young woman distracted while crossing the street in it without realizing the danger that is to come. In a moment of carelessness, a fraction of a second, that would be a tragedy. In this scene, everything seemed to be under control until something unexpected happened. A dog who had followed her mistress to perceive the imminent danger and decided to do it. In this story, it looks like the output from a movie, a thrilling, it is a dog, who in an attitude of courage to the utmost, he risks his own life to save someone he loves. No, there is no doubt that the loyalty of a dog surpasses every expectation, and that happened on a busy street was a true example of a loyal love, protection, and sacrifice. The impact of the act was inevitable, and that the narrative that follows shows the details that you are going to leave you jaw-dropped. You'll get to know the emotions, the fear, and the courage that it took at that time is very critical. But in the meantime, I want you to be prepared to immerse yourself in this true story, full of tense moments, and hope that it shows that many, many times the real heroes come from in the form of pets who have dedicated their lives to those who love him. And believe me, they will. This is just the beginning of a story that will touch you deeply. If this story has touched your heart, I want to invite you to share your own personal experiences or thoughts in the comments. You might have experienced a situation where a pet has demonstrated a courage that is unexpected, or just surprised you with their loyalty. Your story will inspire others to develop further the companions of amazing that sometimes make it the real angels of the four-legged friends in our lives. In addition, even if you believe that content that you have the power to move and raise the awareness of most people, and leave a like on the video. This simple action will help to strengthen our community by getting more people to have access to the stories that show you the true value of friendship and unconditional love. If you want to continue with this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. Here we seek to share real-life stories and engaging, reinforcing the importance of our pets as a part of the family, as well as to encourage them to think about all the love, loyalty, and sacrifice. Your participation is very important in order for this channel to grow and to reach more people, and helping to spread a message of hope and the true connection between humans and their four-legged friends. So don't hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe, because together we can make a difference by inspiring more people to learn how to recognize and develop these real-life superheroes that surround us every day. And he still has a lot of the stories exciting to come here, so keep watching and following the journey of love and courage. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line, because that is the story of a dog who risked everything to save her mistress, to reveal a layer of a connection that many of the people usually do not see it right away. The truth is hidden behind the gesture so much as that many times, and true love does not need words or promises of progress. It manifests itself in the lawsuit, the decision to put the life of another above their own safety, the courage to face danger without a second thought. It is something that transforms our understanding of loyalty and commitment, waking up in a kind of mentality that adds value to the impact we can make in someone's life, with a small but full of meaning. The journey of a dog, which he throws himself in front of a car at high speed, it demonstrates just that, a conscious decision to risk it all for someone they love. And that decision-making often goes overlooked by those who don't know the background of the world of the pets. To the majority of people do not realize that these people, in addition to the companions, but they can be a true mentor in life, is pure, and the true teaching of empathy, care, and protection in a way that no words can convey. These acts of heroism, in which they seem to crop up out of nowhere, it actually comes from an inner transformation to a mindset that acknowledges the value of each other's top priority. And that transformation, when raised, does have an impact not only those who receive the help, but also to those who witness the action, creating a chain of emotion that reverberates through the whole of the community. History has shown us that judgments of courage, it often involves a kind of an impact that is quiet but deep. When an animal is put forward as a shield, as a protective, he's also revealing a true hidden, the love. The true love is a force that can move mountains, that challenges the limits, and it can change lives. It is not just a feeling to the passenger, but it's a force that drives the action, which seem to be impossible for those who have never experienced this level of dedication. And so that is born of the spirit of protection, and to show that in a world full of uncertainties, we can learn from these beings of incredible to be more human, more empathetic, more likely to do well and do good, without expecting anything in return. Our story takes us on a journey of self-discovery, in which we learn to appreciate the impact that our decisions can have on someone's life. After all, it is the courage of a dog. It's so pure and genuine, it will serve as a mirror for our own actions, and challenged us to be more aware of the little opportunities to make things right. And at the same time, it shows that a true transformation happens when we woke up to the feeling of love that requires no words, only actions. The loyalty of an animal that is making a sacrifice for someone, we would point out that often the greatest strength is in the simplicity of the gesture, the courage to take action on the decision to protect those we love, more than anything else. And it is precisely in this connection that leads us to reflect on the impact we can make in someone's life when we decide to act with more empathy, courage, and love yourself. Because deep down, that the story is not only a dog to the hero, but in our own capacity to transform the world around us. Every decision, every act of courage, it can be a seed of change, that is, if plants are grown with love, and you can generate a profound transformation in our way of thinking and the way we think about our relationships to each other. And so to understand this chapter, it is clear that the impact of the heroic action goes far beyond what we can imagine, touching lives in a way that only those who have lived through something like it is unable to understand. He comments that, "It makes no sense to me. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line because that is the story of a dog who threw himself in front of a car at high speed to reveal a layer of a connection that many of the people usually do not see it right away. The truth is hidden behind the gesture so much as that is that, many times, and true love does not need words or promises of progress. It manifests itself in the lawsuit, the decision to put the life of another above their own safety, the courage to face danger without a second thought. It is something that transforms our understanding of loyalty and commitment, waking up in a kind of mentality that adds value to the impact we can make in someone's life with a small but full of meaning. The journey of a dog, which he throws himself in front of a car at high speed, it demonstrates just that. A conscious decision to risk it all for someone they love. And that decision-making often goes overlooked by those who don't know the background of the world of the pets. To the majority of people, do not realize that these people, in addition to the companions, but they can be a true mentor in life, is pure, and the true teaching of empathy, care, and protection in a way that no words can convey. These acts of heroism, in which they seem to crop up out of nowhere, it actually comes from an inner transformation, to a mindset that acknowledges the value of each other's top priority. And that transformation, when raised, does have an impact not only those who receive the help, but also to those who witness the action, creating a chain of emotion that reverberates through the whole of the community. History has shown us that judgments of courage, it often involves a kind of an impact that is quiet but deep. When an animal is put forward as a shield, as a protective, he's also revealing a true hidden, the love. The true love is a force that can move mountains, that challenges the limits, and it can change lives. It is not just a feeling to the passenger, but it's a force that drives the action, which seem to be impossible for those who have never experienced this level of dedication. And so that is born of the spirit of protection, and to show that in a world full of uncertainties, we can learn from these beings of incredible to be more human, more empathetic, more likely to do well and do good, without expecting anything in return. Our story takes us on a journey of self-discovery, in which we learn to appreciate the impact that our decisions can have on someone's life. After all, it is the courage of a dog. It's so pure and genuine, it will serve as a mirror for our own actions, and challenged us to be more aware of the little opportunities to make things right. And at the same time, it shows that a true transformation happens when we woke up to the feeling of love that requires no words, only actions. The loyalty of an animal that is making a sacrifice for someone else, to remind us that sometimes the greatest strength is in the simplicity of the gesture, the courage to take action on the decision to protect those we love more than anything else. And it is this connection that makes us think even more about the impact we can have on the life of a person when you decide to act with more empathy, courage, and love yourself. Because deep down, that the story is not only a dog to the hero, but in our own capacity to transform the world around us. Every decision, every act of courage, it can be a seed of change, that is, if plants are grown with love, and you can generate a profound transformation in our way of thinking and the way we think about our relationships to each other. And so to understand this chapter, it is clear that the impact of the heroic action goes far beyond what we can imagine, touching lives in a way that only those who have lived through something like it is unable to understand. He comments that, "It makes no sense to me." Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line, because that is the story of a dog, which he throws himself in front of a car at high speed in order to save his mistress, reveals a truth that hides many of the times. It is hidden below the surface of most simple to do. The truth is that our decisions are the most important ones, the ones who really shape who you are. It often comes from a place of inner transformation, a type of thinking that focuses on the well-being of the other, above the fear and uncertainty. When we think of the courage of the animal, which without reflection put it behind you, we are looking at a manifestation of pure power that defy the logic of fear and danger. It's a powerful lesson that the real change happens from the inside to the outside, making the act of love and protection, even when everything around you seems to indicate that the top priority should be your own safety. This story leads us to reflect on how our own actions can have an impact on the life of someone else so deeply. Many times, when we are so stuck in our routines, our insecurities, or a fear of making a mistake, that we forget that it's a simple decision, taken courage. It can have an impact that reverberates through the generations. With the courage of a dog, for example, it shows you the transformation that we seek in life is not the big gestures and isolated, but a mindset that values each other and recognize that our actions have the power to influence people's lives in a way that it is not always possible to imagine. And it is liberating, because it reminds us that you don't need a lot of resources or a supernatural power to make a difference, and it just takes one decision to genuinely protect, care for, and love you unconditionally. The realization of this truth is hidden. We begin to see beyond what is visible on the surface. We see a lot of the times, behind the scenes story of the heroism, they have a mindset of empathy, which is strengthened in the practice of the day. A simple act of courage may be the result of a journey of inner transformation, in which we learn to appreciate the impact that our actions can have on someone's life. It is at this point that we realize that true strength does not lie in the quantity of physical strength or courage in a given moment, but on the consistency of a mindset that prioritizes the well-being of others. This mindset, when grown, it makes you capable of making what seemed to be impossible, but that in fact is the very essence of genuine love. And then there comes a question that a lot of people end up neglecting: the importance of the awakening. This is the mentality of protection to each and every one of us, because deep down, we all have the capacity to act with courage and to make choices that might seem risky, but it carries a deep emotional and moral that it can change lives. When we begin to understand that our actions, however small they may seem, may be the seeds of hope and change, it starts to gain a whole new meaning. It is as if each and every decision is an opportunity to leave a positive mark on the history of man, to create a story of love, solidarity, and courage. In the process, we discovered that the real transformation takes place not only in the major, but also in the way that we think about in our everyday choices and the willingness to become a better person each and every day. This is a journey of discovery and reveals that the courage of a dog is not just a story of an isolated, but a power that we all have the same inner strength. Just what we allow ourselves to open our eyes to the opportunities that come with the entire time as well, to protect those who need it, interact with empathy, and to prioritize the love over fear. When we do this, we create a chain of impacts that can change lives, including your own. After all, it is the difference between an action and an attitude of honor is often the mindset that sustains it. And when you realize this, it becomes clear that the true strength in any act of courage lies in the decision to look beyond the fear and to believe that our actions have the power to make a difference by touching the lives and making real change, and that starts in our own unique way of thinking and acting. He comments that I'm on this journey too. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line, because that's the true transformation that happens in our minds, is often the hidden behind the scenes from our daily decisions. It's in the space of a silent, often invisible, that is, the changes, the more powerful person shows. When you look at the guts of the dog, which was launched in the front of the car to save her owner, we have realized that such an act was not only a show of loyalty, but rather an expression of a mindset that prioritizes the well-being of another, on top of whatever the risk. And it is this mentality that comes from the heart, and is one of the biggest revelations in which you can find out about yourself. It shows that, within each of these, there is a power that can overcome any limit. It is enough for us to decide to wake her up. This is power. It is often dormant. It is powered by the choices of the act of love, courage, and sympathy, even when fear tries to dominate us. In essence, it all comes down to the choices we make. The small actions that seem insignificant in the routine of day-to-day, it can have an impact that reverberates throughout a lifetime. These are the simple acts done with a mindset of protection, which is built on a real journey of transformation. And the big revelation here is that this journey is not something that is far away or unattainable. She gets the courage to look beyond himself, to see each other with more empathy, and to take the responsibility to make a difference. When we awaken to this truth is hidden, you begin to realize that it is our decisions that shape not only who we are, but also for the world around us. And the more you cultivate this mentality, the more we strengthen our ability to act in a way that is authentic, of being an agent of change in any given situation. The connection between this idea and the impact that we can make it through. Because in the real world, it's all about what we choose to do when we're faced with an opportunity to act with courage. Each of the decision-making to protect someone, to reach out, to do good without expectation of reward, it is the seed of transformation in which you can blossom in surprising ways. When we do this, our view of the world changes totally. We went to see the difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to put into practice the things that you truly believe in. And in doing so, we realize that the true power of a hero are not the actions of the great, but in the disposition to make the good even when no one is looking. This revelation is liberating, because it shows us what we have inside of us, a source of endless joy and love. They just decide to get it. A conscious decision to act with empathy, and putting the well-being of others in front of all our fears, this is the one that actually transformed. And in so doing, we can begin to understand that our actions have an impact that is greater than we can imagine. With each step forward with that mentality, it's a step in the direction of living a life more full, more real, and more connected to the things that really matter. When we woke up to the truth that is hidden, we noticed that you're capable of doing more than we thought, and that our actions can generate profound and often the biggest strength is the courage to respond with open hearts, despite the risk. And so on this journey of self-discovery and transformation, and takes us to a deeper understanding of what is the real differences in our willingness to choose love above fear, to do good even when it seems difficult or impossible to obtain. This is a decision that requires courage, but also with an understanding that each and every small act of protection, the care or empathy, that is, a seed is planted in the fertile soil for genuine change. And when you understand it, it should be clear that we will be the protagonists of our own stories and are able to influence the lives, and with a little effort, but loaded with meaning. Because at the end of the day, the true power of a hero in your mind, in your willingness to do the right thing, even when no one is looking. And it is this, that strength, that courage is something that we all wake up in the book you decide that you love. It should be always one step ahead of fear, he writes in, I'm on this journey too. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line, because that is the true essence of transformation, is often hidden in the details that most people don't see it at first glance. The mindset that underpins the acts of courage, such as that of the dog who threw himself in front of a car, and it's something that goes beyond the simple instinct of self-protection. It is, in fact, It's a window to be able to act with purpose, to decide whether it is the love, the empathy and solidarity. It will be a priority, even when everything around you tells you that the risk is too great. This wider view shows that on the back of each and every decision that you seem compelling, there's a built-in with a conscious decision to be better, to do better, to put the other one in front of himself. And this is what happens behind the scenes of our mind, and it is that which determines our true strength and the impact we can make in someone's life. Think about the transformation in such a way that it leads us to understand that it doesn't happen from one hour to the other, not even by accident. It is the result of a day to be silent, in a process of self-discovery and decision-making in daily to cultivate values that is on the rise. When we realize that our actions can bring about real change, we also realize that our way of thinking is responsible for the shape change. It is the one that makes the acts of courage that are often taken to extremes can become a part of our way of life. That understanding transformed the way we deal with the challenges of everyday life, making us aware of the fact that by choosing to act with love and empathy, we are actively contributing to a stream from the impact. After all, every decision, charged with intention, it becomes a seed that, with time, it germinates and blooms in the most strong, the most genuine. To realize this truth is hidden, it's a revelation, which changes the perspective on what is really important in our history. Too often, we get stuck on the idea that big changes require big gestures, when in reality, it all starts in our minds. When we learn to appreciate the impact of small decisions, we have gained an inner strength that drives us to act boldly, even in the face of fear. This power is based on a deep understanding that we are all capable of influencing the lives of our choices. Have weight to it. When you decide to protect someone else, we're all about helping you build a more empathetic and fair. It is as if the act of love, and it was a piece of a puzzle that fit together to reveal a larger picture of a world in which the sense of solidarity and courage are the values of the basic natural resources that can be produced by any person willing to look beyond the surface. And it is this connection between our minds and the impact we can make is the one that actually takes us on a true transformation. Because when we woke up to this fact, we find that there is no limit to what you can do. It just takes one decision to move in with an open heart, to prioritize the well-being of others, put your love above fear. When you have this mentality, you will become stronger, and it becomes a never-ending source of courage to be able to move mountains and change lives, including your own. And it is in this movement that the real difference is this: in order to see the other as someone who deserves the protection, care and respect regardless of their circumstances. When we woke up to the truth that is hidden, we realize that each and every act of courage and every decision to protect you or love you, it's an opportunity to leave a positive, contributing to a chain of impacts that can come from the hearts and turning areas. And then, when you realize all of this, it is clear that for the forces that seek to make a difference, that is, in fact, it is always within our reach. You just decide that you love will be our greatest motivation. He comments that, "I'm on this journey too. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line because that is the truth which is hidden by the rear of the action, as noble as that of the dog who saved his owner, reveals one thing that many people do not often think about. The truth is, in essence, our decision-making, the most remarkable, the ones who really shape who we are and the impact we leave on the world, coming from an interior space of transformation, is a mindset that focuses on the love, the empathy, and solidarity with others. When we are able to see beyond the surface, we see that each and every act of courage and every decision to protect someone, it is not only a momentary reaction, but a construction that is aware of the values. This happens behind the scenes of our journey to silent self-knowledge and the daily choice to act with a purpose. It is there that lies the true strength, and they often remain invisible to the eyes of those who are not aware of. And that strength only comes when we choose to nourish a mindset of care, compassion, and courage in the face of higher risk, or on the circumstances, the most adverse conditions. The development of this mindset is a journey that requires a connection to one's own emotions, the recognition of our own vulnerabilities, and above all, a genuine desire to do good. As we come to understand that our actions can create a powerful impact in the lives of someone else, it all takes on a new meaning. It's not just acting on impulse or out of obligation, but also a conscious decision to make a difference to take responsibility for the things that we can influence. Many times, the greatest change that happens in the most simple, a sign of protection, and a word of encouragement, a look of sympathy. These are small acts, and loaded with true intent, that they construct a narrative of the long-term impact. And this is the narrative that we find in our ability to change lives, including your own. To realize this truth is hidden, it also helps us to understand the impact of what we can create is not limited to times of crisis or the action great. He is present in every decision that we make in the course of the day, each and every time you choose to act in love, even when that takes courage. Many people underestimate the power of small actions every day, but these are the seed that, if grown with consistency, you can transform the mind and by extension of the reality all around us. This understanding leads us to reflect about how we can be agents of change, just when you decide to prioritize the well-being of others, to put it even in front of you in fear or self-doubt. It is a continuous journey of learning, where each reinforcing a different perspective, a new way of looking at the world. And in this perspective, the deeper will reveal that the real power of a man, or anyone who wants to make a difference, and you are on your willingness to act courageously, to recognize the impact of their decisions, going above and beyond what you see on the surface. When we woke up this idea of transformation, we see that for every act of love and protection, it's an opportunity to leave a positive mark, to create a chain of actions that will reverberate for generations to come. It is a movement from the inside to the outside, and a change of attitude that starts in the mind and manifests itself in the behavior. And when you realize this connection, it should be clear that the real power of an action hero that is not in its enormity, but it comes from a decision is proper to be better, to do good, and to protect those who need it, even if it takes courage and self-sacrifice. Because deep down, this is the most important truth hidden in this universe of possibilities. That's the true transformation begins in our minds and in our willingness to choose from for the love as a driving force, no matter what the circumstances. He writes in, "I'm on this journey too. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line because that's the true transformation that we seek on our journey of personal growth, is just going behind the scenes of our decision-making, simpler and more every day. Too often we get stuck on the idea of only the attitudes of the great moments of crisis or arm time is changing lives. But in fact, is the one that shapes who we are and the impact we can make. It happens in the small choices we make every day. These small decisions that seem to be invisible or insignificant, they are the true seeds of lasting change. When you start to see the impact of our actions does not depend only on the moments that spot, but rather a mindset that values the well-being of the other, it all starts to make more sense of it. It's the routine. It's time to choose to be more kind, to reach out, interact with empathy, and that to build a strong foundation for a real transformation. And it is that which holds for any great act of courage, the story of the heroism of that many times. It starts exactly in the mood to respond with love and awareness. This understanding leads us to look beyond the appearance, actions, and realize that behind them there's a built-in, which builds on the extent to which we feed the mind that have a positive impact. It is not only about well done, but a change of attitude, a change of perspective. When we align our thoughts with the essence of love, solidarity, and care, and our actions are no longer to be the impulse of the moment and are all part of our way of life. This inner transformation is, in fact, the one that holds the real strength of those who want to make a difference. It is the one that makes up with you, that small acts can become memorable moments that inspire others to also take action with courage and empathy. And when you realize this, we can begin to understand that our journey of growing and never ending, because every decision in life is an opportunity to strengthen the mindset of an impact and of love and authenticity. To realize this truth is hidden. It's like opening a door to a new world of possibilities. After all, to live this experience means that we realize that all change starts from the inside out. It doesn't help to transform the world around you without transforming yourself. It is in our minds is the very real potential to make an impact. Every choice, every action, every word that comes out of us, and that it is charged with positive intention, it builds a bridge to the invisible, which connects to who we are, what we do. The bridge is made up of little deeds to make daily decisions, the role of courage in challenging the fear and the confusion. It is the one that supports our ability to make a difference, is to lead by example and be an agent of change who inspire others to also become aware of, to the truth it hides. To deepen this understanding, it is clear that the transformation is not something that happens to us at one time or another, but it's an ongoing process of self-discovery and conscious practice. The more you feed this mind of an impact, the more we strengthen our ability to act with authenticity, being true to our values and have a positive impact on the world around us. And it does not require extensive resources and moments of high drama, but it's a provision to the earnest to bring the love and feeling like a priority. Each and every small decision to act out of compassion, to avoid a trial and offering to help, it is a very important part in the construction. Thus, we see that the real power to change lives, that is, in our desire to nurture this idea of transformation and learn from every experience and grow from our own. Because in the end, the whole of the journey from the impact of a genuine start in the courage, to be true to who we are and what we believe it to be possible, to build it with love. He writes in, "I'm on this journey too. Right now I want you to go deeper in the subject line because that is the true essence of transformation, is not only in the actions that appear on the surface, but behind the scenes, invisible, where our decisions, the more built-in, molded part. It is in this space of silence in the mind, where do the beliefs, values, mindset and business, it all starts to take shape. Many of the times we believe that profound changes depend on a large gesture or special events, but it is the truth concealed is that they take place in the quiet of our own choices on a daily basis. This is a journey of growth. It starts when we decide that our way of thinking will be guided by the love and empathy, and the courage to act, even when the evidence seems to indicate otherwise. And this decision, which appears to be simple, it's actually a seed to be planted firmly, sprouts and fruits from time to time. To realize this truth is hidden, it's like turning a light on behind the scenes of your own story, and reveals that on the back of an impact, there's a built-in, which requires attention, care, and dedication. This is not only good at the right time, but to cultivate a mindset that values the impact of our actions, however small they may seem. When we nurture this mindset, we begin to see our daily decisions as part of a narrative is the largest, with a history that can transform not only the lives of those who receive the help, but it is also in our own heart. It is as if conscious choice to be a part of the puzzle to fit together, to reveal a larger picture of who we are and who we can become. This awareness gives us the strength to go on, even in the face of difficulties, because we know that in everything we do, with a genuine intention, has the power to create a long-lasting impact. Such an understanding reveals that the real power of change lies in the consistency. No point in acting with courage just this one time if the mindset behind this action is deeply rooted in the heart. It is necessary that every decision is a reaffirmation of the commitment to do good, to protect you, to love you, even when fear tries in the stall. These are small, but the constant choices that will shape the way that a new version of ourselves, more in line with the values that we believe in. And to understand this dynamic, it is easy to understand that the whole of true transformation happens from the inside to the outside, and that it requires constant attention to our own personal beliefs and the way we think about the impact of our actions. Because deep down every decision we make is an opportunity to strengthen the mindset of an impact and of love and authenticity. When you really understand this relation, we make it clear that we are responsible for fostering a mindset that will enable us to act with courage and empathy regardless of the setting on the weekends. And that responsibility, and when accepted, becomes a never-ending source of inner power and strength. It is what drives us to overcome the obstacles, facing fears, and do what's right, even when everything around you seems to devalue the future. This inner strength is the key to any lasting change, because it was born from the understanding that our choices, however small they may seem, they have a ripple effect. Spirit strengthens us to become more aware of the opportunities to make a difference, and are more likely to act with authenticity, and is always looking for the positive impact on the lives of other people. So what seems to be a simple decision turns out to be a powerful tool for transformation, is able to create a ripple effect of good deeds, which will reverberate for generations to come. Notice how it's all connected. The mind is the soil in which the seeds of change planted in it. The more you cultivate an attitude of courage, empathy, and love for, the more natural it becomes to see the opportunity to impact the lives around us. Each attitude, each and every gesture of care that will be an expression of this mentality is strong, and the strength is multiplied to the extent that we have. It is a journey of self-discovery, continuous, in which we learn that a genuine change starts in our mind, in our willingness to look beyond the surface and to act from the heart. When you have this understanding, it becomes our database. It all becomes clear. We make these decisions, however small they may seem, have a great potential to change the world, one life at a time. And in this movement, we can see that the real power of a long-term impact and is willing to nurture this idea of the impact of hope and a love that is unconditional, that it is born out of a conscious decision to be better every single day. He writes in, "I'm on this journey too. If you've come this far, it's because this story has touched a special place inside of you, you know? I think that sometimes it's a simple narrative. Can you wake up important insights into what is really important in our lives? Maybe when you watch this video, you may have noticed that the courage, loyalty, and love are much more present than we think, and often hidden in the most simple day-to-day. And that's something that we can take with us to transform into our routine and to spread it to those around us. This content brought you any value, here is my invitation to you to subscribe to the channel. Therefore, you will stay up to date with the real-life stories, musings, and inspirations that can help you change the way you see the world and the people around you. Our goal is just to show you that with a little attitude and open-minded, you can create a life filled with meaning, connection, and true. And if this story has touched you in some way, leave a comment here below. I want to know, I'm with you till the end. Or it was for me what makes sense to you, I want to hear it. It's a way to make this connection to show that these stories have meaning in your life and what you believe in the power of love and the courage to change the world. Thus, we were able to build the community of people who believe that small actions can lead to large changes. There's a video right here on the side which complements this subject. You can click and keeps me there. It's a story that reinforces all that we talked about here, and that it may inspire you on even more. Thank you for being with me until the very end. I hope that contents you. Remember the power that you have to make the difference, as always, with love and courage.